Hey everybody, YouTube familiars.
Hey.
Is that a name we can use?
Sure.
YouTube familiars?
Familiars?
Sure. Yeah.
Mm.
You know, like vampire lords and shit have like familiars. Yeah.
We do have a very select few. So,
I know, right?
Yeah, so they could be.
Welcome all 5 of you.
We went up, you guys. 2. We have 2 more followers than we usually do.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, man.
So, you guys, we went and saw Blade Runner 2049.
Woo! Hell yeah.
Been waiting for like a year and a half now.
Really highly anticipated movie.
Yeah.
Film.
Like one of probably actually like
for me personally,
the best current director with my all-time favorite director working together on a movie that's in one of my top 10 movies. Like I mean, there's not enough words to explain how pumped we were.
Right, it was great. Great.
Yeah, so we went and saw it opening night, Thursday night.
Yeah. Something
I do want to mention that I was reading today.
Yeah.
Before we get into the movie itself. It's flopping hard.
Oh, what? Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Financially?
Yeah. It hasn't even hit 13 million yet.
Oh, wow.
And it cost $200 million to make.
Oh my god!
Shit!
Not quite. 155, I think.
Yeah.
155.
Well, that's kind of disappointing.
Yeah,
and not the on behalf of the film, and we'll get into that further.
Oh yeah.
It's just I can see why though, because it's an intellectual film. Like
absolutely.
And the whole pretense of watching the previous ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll get into that, and you're totally right. And I think that it was talking about how it just makes me really sad.
Yeah.
That, the state of everything.
Yeah.
Whether it's music, sometimes it's games, sometimes it's movies. It's they were saying how great Kong Skull Island did, and not to disparage that film, but they were talking about that's the kind of stuff that people are just going to go out and see, and this movie is heavy, it's long, it's not easily explained. It's not action packed. It's not.
Absolutely. And you can tell from the opening night there weren't that many people there.
The theater wasn't even full.
Yeah, it wasn't even full. I was expecting it to be packed.
Yeah.
I've been to midnight releases where it was just packed and they sometimes oversell seats and shit like that. Yeah, there's a line to get in.
And people, the article I was reading was saying that for whatever reason, there's actually a trend of people making big sequels to cult classic movies that doesn't usually work.
Yeah.
They're cult classics for a reason.
Yeah.
Blade Runner totally flopped when it came out.
Yeah.
Financially and did really well critically, just like this is.
Yeah, this is. Yeah.
That's not what people really like to see, generally.
The general populace doesn't.
The general populace. Yeah. It's probably going to win awards. It's got over a 90% on all of the.
Yeah, it was Rotten Tomatoes certified fresh, and I was like, when I saw that,
90% right now.
Yeah, 90%.
It's gone down a little bit.
Okay.
But if you have the majority of people reviews in and you're still above 90, that's a huge portion of people saying it's really good.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was just a quick, brief little thing I wanted to mention that I was kind of saddened by.
Yeah.
But it might make
it doesn't discredit the film in any way.
Might get it to Blu-ray quicker.
Yeah. For me, it doesn't discredit the movie in
not
any way.
Even a little bit.
Yeah.
That's not what I was trying to say.
It's just people
something I found out.
Yeah, but it's kind of sad because like you said, music, video games, I found to be the industry is very cutthroat, and if you don't conform to a certain type of genre or style, it's not going to do well. You know, as much as we talk about Call of Duty every year fucking sells like gangbusters. Yep. And we just don't know why.
Madden.
Madden. Shit
every single year sells.
We don't know fucking why, but people would rather play that than play a Dishonored or whatever have you.
Prey is another by the same people.
Yeah, exactly.
They keep making these games that get incredible reviews.
Yeah, but no one plays
them. And nominated for games of the year and all that, and then no one buys them.
Do you think it's a time thing? Like no one wants to invest more than a couple of hours into a game at a time, and for a game like Prey and Dishonored, you really have to.
And a movie like this, which was really
absolutely,
well.
It correlates to the movie. So time. It really is if I was a general, just person and I want to see an action film that's an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you see this movie and it's 2.5 hours, even
240.
240 and all that. I'm like, I don't know. Not only that, but then you also have to go back and watch the original one.
Oh, and if you didn't, you'd be really disappointed.
Yeah, exactly. So then you would go and you're like, what the hell is going on? I don't understand any of this. What's the symbolism? What does this make? What is this? There's a lot of stuff that is subtle within the movie itself that doesn't. The director Denis doesn't like to dumb down his audience.
Right.
You know, he wants to make you think.
Yeah, he puts faith in his audience to think about things.
Exactly, and all of his films are like that.
Yeah,
you know? Like
and they're films that plant seeds.
Yeah.
That you might feel kind of frustrated and confused. Yeah. And honestly, the first Blade Runner's like that too.
Yeah,
I was very frustrated the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Arrival.
Yeah.
It's not instant gratification. Like the movie gets better the longer you are away from it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which is really powerful. Like only some of the best movies can do that.
Yeah.
I have seen some quotes. I don't know how you guys want to structure this conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to go like.
Let's just get a general overview and then we'll just
do general overview. Maybe we can just get the negatives out of the way after that.
Yeah.
So we can just talk about all the greatness.
Yeah.
But yeah, like okay, so yeah, general impression. It's so hard to like not just talk about individual things to give a general impression. I loved it. I had a lot of problems with it, but the same way that I have a lot of problems with Game of Thrones. Yeah. I'm in a relationship with this shit. You know what I mean? Like I really, 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 really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And therefore the things that I didn't like really stood out for me because I was like, I couldn't have asked for a better sequel to Blade Runner. Right? I mean, in every way. Tone, sound, look, feel, atmosphere, camera angles, all of it. Everything about the movie was so true to Blade Runner in a way that sequels never, like a lot of sequels in Hollywood don't understand. Right. They're like, here, look at or even like prequels, like the Star Wars prequels are the perfect example. Look, C-3PO and R2-D2.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not about the fact that you're grabbing shit from the other one and throwing it on the screen. Yeah, it's not, it's does it feel and does it capture the essence of the what everyone felt when they were sitting there watching it?
Within the universe, but not cheesing it up too much where you're like
original but everyone just goes like I feel at home like there were when Blade Runner when 2049 opened and like everything hit the sound and the look and the car and him and his coat and just I felt so good. I felt so happy and nostalgic because Blade Runner just has this like such a mental picture and sound in my head that I can conjure up at like any time. Yeah. And like it's like a weird sort of dream state. Like God, like Blade Runner is just so distinct. Yeah. And it hits that. And that is like the hardest fucking thing. So like once they hit that, I was like, I am so pleased with that.
Right.
That was my
No, yeah. We talked very briefly, Ian, you and I, right after the movie. I mentioned how similar the pacing was to the original movie, which I really liked. Mm-hmm. Probably, in my opinion, one of the best sequels to a movie I've ever seen, as far as like staying true to your source material.
Yeah, yeah.
To your point, you mentioned before it felt the same. Are we doing like spoilers in this?
We are going to do spoilers. Okay. General impressions, hold off.
Okay.
Yeah. So that way, if someone clicked on this and they're like, they haven't seen it yet, we'll give them our general impressions.
Spoiler alert.
We will go into spoilers later.
Yeah.
Just give me your kind of general overview.
Yeah, and I think it's because I'm coming off such a recent high of the first Blade Runner, but
I'm so glad you liked that movie.
No, I liked it a lot. This one I loved. I really, really enjoyed this movie. Like I said, probably one of the best sequels I've ever seen. Yeah. I mentioned the pacing. It's never... Ian, if you remember at the beginning of Mason Missed It, the way you explained the first one to me was that it's not an action film and don't expect it to be. Yeah. And that's how I went into this one. Yeah. And I think that's why I enjoyed it so much, because I think it gives a very similar feel.
I was a little worried based on the trailers that it might have been... Before I knew it was Dennis directing it. Yeah. They showed a lot of... We're like, oh, I hope they don't... it's not what this is about here.
Right.
I was worried about that, but that was just the trailer.
No,
You're totally right, man.
Yeah. And that's what I really appreciated about it throughout the entire movie. There was never like a lot of movies will hit a point and then from there to the end it's action, crazy, survive, blah blah blah. That like didn't happen. It kind of happened, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. There's more action, which I believe was necessary.
Yeah.
But it's not. I mean, there's probably 20 minutes of fighting in it.
Yeah.
In a 2 hour, 40-minute movie.
And that brings me to my next point. Over general impressions, one of the few downsides to it was the length of the movie. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely. I mean, they had to tell a story and they did it well.
Yeah.
But they started it. Yeah. Great. I'd say like if you divvy the movie, I can actually think of 4 distinct quarters of that film, and I feel like the first 3 quarters were amazing. Like. Excellent. The pacing was like pinpoint perfect. And it was this mystery, and he's unlocking each little piece of this mystery as we meet each new character as he goes through. And it was like right up to the point where I could kind of feel like, okay, here's the climax, and then there's 30 minutes left.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Oh, we're still going.
Yeah, we kept getting to
that
new...
fourth quarter is weird.
Yeah,
It feels like a lot of deleted scenes.
Yeah, exactly.
It feels like a movie.
I
was like, this is what we should be watching on our couch.
On the DVD,
the extended
Blu-ray.
edition.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kevin? Give me your overview.
Just like Mason, I think it went along a little too long. But from that's a good complaint to have,
Totally.
Versus
agree.
the opposite.
It never got less beautiful.
And the thing is, like, watching it the one time only, in my mind, running through the scenes again, I don't know if I can delete any scene. I'm like, because each scene kind of is intertwined with another scene, so I'm just like, if I was in the editorial chair, where would I make those cuts? And I'd be like, that's hard. And like, props to the studio, the production company that let Dennis keep that length of a film.
And I think the reason that is there is because Ridley Scott was the executive producer.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been the victim of having his movies cut into pieces.
And then now the opposite. I think he went a little bit too far. And I feel like if they, I'm not a trained film analyst or anything like that, but if you
we're trained in a way. I feel like we're pretty people should take our opinion seriously. We've watched hundreds of movies. Hundreds of
But then again, it's just sitting in the editorial chair, I just don't know what scenes I would cut out.
I think they'll really go.
I would have to watch it scene by scene by scene by scene to see, okay, maybe we can trim this down, maybe we can take this scene out.
Sure.
But overall, I think it was a great intellectual film.
Super.
I love the visuals. I love the sound, especially. The sound was great. Watching it in that theater, I don't know if they did something. Maybe it's one of those premiere theaters, but the sound system was amazing in there. You just felt
that's just the sound design of the movie.
Yeah, the movie exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, visuals were great. I just love the art style. I love that they stayed true to the source material.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't cheese it you guys may disagree, but The Force Awakens was too much.
Oh my! I did not disagree with that.
Okay,
I totally agree.
Too much.
It was just a clone
copy. Carbon copy of the. Yeah, so I was like, I'm glad that they didn't do that.
Me too.
But they did say, hey, we're in this universe, and I can just without even thinking about it, I was like, oh, this is the Blade Runner universe. If I went in there. Just not even seeing the job or the title of the movie, I'm be like, oh, this looks like Blade Runner, kind of. So yeah, so I think it was great. The individual, like you said, the individual aspects of the movie was just there's just so much that added up to making it a great film. So
totally agree.
But yeah, that's my general impression of it.
Cool.
So
so I guess we can kind of get into spoilers. The main thing I kind of sort of personal I just kind of want to get the negative out of the way because I just really want to praise this movie. And I don't know, we haven't talked about it together that much, so I don't know, you guys might totally disagree with me.
Okay.
My biggest negative by far with this movie is I thought Jared Leto sucked dick.
Really? Okay.
I did not care about him at all. I was not afraid of him. I didn't think he was original. I didn't think his motives made really any sense at all. I thought his delivery of the lines were like him reading right off of a script page, and the whole time I was thinking the first movie has one of the great villains in movie history with Roy Batty, and all of his incredible dialogue and his monologue and his reasons, which is he's surviving. Okay. He was so he was a murderer, he was a killer, but we all at the same time dude, I understand, anyone would fight for their loved ones and yourself when you're going to die and people are using your slave labor, and he was a victim of a sort.
Right. So I disagree with you, and I don't, and I agree with you at the same time. So as far as his acting ability goes, I don't know that it stood out to me as being particularly bad, but I'm not an expert.
Cardboard box.
As far as his motives go, I completely agree with you. Cassie and I got in the truck after the movie, and we're like, what was he trying to do again? And you know what I mean? It was kind of what?
Wait,
what was
he a bad guy?
Yeah, he was
his motive was so his thing was I want to build. He thinks humanity is the next they should in that one scene he's like humanity should own the stars and all that stuff, and we only colonize 7 planets or whatever.
Right.
And so he's like, we need a disposable labor force, and he's like, I can only make so many replicants though. So what he was trying to do the entire process was to find an easy way to reproduce replicants, and that kid, the kid that was born from a human and a replicant, was the answer. So that's why throughout the whole movie he was so obsessed with that. He's like, "You're the
they're both
answer."
replicants.
What?
Decker's a replicant too.
Decker's a replicant?
Yeah, of course.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
This is why you should have been here, Kevin.
Wait, what?
This is why you should have been here.
Decker's
really?
a replicant. Yeah.
Oh, so then both replicants then. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that's what he was like. Okay, we want to reproduce replicants quickly. And that's the answer. The kid was like the answer. So
that's why Jared Leto's character, I don't remember his fucking name. What was his name?
I don't know.
Wallace.
Wallace.
Yeah,
thank
Wallace,
you.
Yeah.
That's why that's why he was saying, do you really think it was love? Because he was sure that Tyrell had
programmed
assumed
her. Yeah,
them
that's
both
right,
to meet, and they would both fall in love with each other. Because those were the two replicants that were built to be able to reproduce it. They were test subjects.
Oh shit! Really?
By Tyrell. Yeah.
Crazy.
So and like the Decker didn't know he was a replicant at that time.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, that's what the film was all about too. And
that's what the unicorn's about.
Yeah, okay.
And all the so Gaff. One of my favorite things in this movie is Gaff is in the second one. Amos, this is the actual actor's name. I can't think of his first name. He was in Battlestar Galactica.
Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Something Amos or Amos.
Yeah, Joe Amos. Yeah.
So he's in the original movie. Yeah. He's the cop who keeps showing up. And he's the one who makes the origami.
Yeah, right.
And like that, and throughout the first movie, he puts those origamis down because he knows what Decker's thinking all the time because he's like his handler.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I love that he was in this.
Yeah,
and they tie that knot together as he's looking for him. But yeah, I mean, Wallace, his motivation. I mean, I guess it was just so rote, like, I will have an army of slayers. Like they already have this. Like the first movie sets up the fact that they already created a giant amount of slave labor via. I don't know. I just didn't think he did a very good job. I was never afraid of him at any point in time. I was afraid of Love.
Yeah.
Her name is Love, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that. It was
he calls her Love. Yeah. I think he calls the girls angels.
Angels.
Yeah. But he kept calling her Love.
Now she was scary.
Yeah.
She had a name villain. Because
she did have a name. But
Ryan Gosling's character said, "Oh, you have a name. He must really like you."
He must really like you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. She was fantastic.
Yeah, she was great. She
was
terrifying.
Yeah.
She was terrifying. Because, like, not only was she, like, evil, but she also had, like, weird human emotions tied with it.
Yes.
Especially when she was killing the police, officer or whatever, her lieutenant or whatever.
Crying.
She kept crying. Yeah. I was like, throughout the whole movie she was crying.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
She was, like, super confused.
Yeah, she was super
I thought there was a couple times in the film where I thought she was going to turn on Wallace.
Yeah.
Because she knew that she was being...
Yeah,
but she never ended up turning on him.
No, because
she just kept fighting for him, and it was really cool to watch her conflict. She was a great character.
I get like Jared Leto was not because he wasn't. It wasn't like an acting performance that would have been like, oh, he should deserve like best actor award for sure.
Definitely not.
For sure not. But I don't think his acting deterred or taken away anything from the film. I thought it was just like it was okay. It was okay.
Everyone else was doing so well.
Yeah,
the writing was
that's what I'm
so
saying
good
though. That's what I'm saying. The bar was raised because everyone else was doing so well, and I feel like we could have had more scenes with him to develop it. He only had really the one scene. That one scene where he was looking at the
That's
new.
because he's not important.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If anything from the film, you could have taken out other scenes to maybe develop. Because the reason why the first the villain in the first film was so.
He gets like half the screen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He gets half of the screen. So we don't know anything about Wallace other than that he bought out Tyrell, he made his own replicants, and he's evil. That's all we know.
And that's exactly my complaint.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He is
definitely
a
flat
piece of paper character.
Yeah, no, I was like, he definitely needed more screen time.
I agree. I would like to know more about him.
Yeah.
I feel like the film was like more about his little floaty robots.
Yeah.
It was obsessed with his little floaty robots. It's like, all right, I don't know. That was like really, truly, honestly, my only like actual negative thing to say about the movie was that. Like, it's too long, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I just think that part of the reason it's only made $12 million is because it's 3 hours fucking long.
Right.
That's not like a personal issue I have with it. Though my back was on fire, my ass hurt by the end of that.
Yeah. Dude, my feet started to go numb. Did you notice me untie my shoes?
Yeah.
Yes. Because I couldn't feel my feet anymore. Because, like, for whatever reason, the way I was sitting on those recliners, like, my feet just started killing me.
Yeah, I had to, like, shift around a couple times. Just, like, I was like, all right.
I was going up.
Dude, honestly,
was going down.
like you
I
said.
Was going
I know,
up.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard that.
Because I had to, like...
and because, like, most of the film is, like, it's silent moments and stuff. I was just like, it's so quiet. The recliner.
Dude, I was afraid to eat popcorn. popcorn. I didn't want to eat during the movie because it's all intense, and I'm just like, oh.
It is. It's one of those movies that would suck if you're like living in an apartment or you have a roommate that's trying to sleep because you're like you turn it way up because they're talking and it's like, oh, turn it down.
It definitely was. Like you said, at one point in the movie, I was like, all right, we're getting to the end. But then there was like another 40 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck? This movie should have ended already. I was like, what? Yeah.
And those, it's not that the ending was bad, but it did feel a little rushed. They're like, oh yeah, here's the twist. Here's the end of the movie. Here's this character. And then we're ending. I was like, whoa, hold up. Wait, what? I need to see it again because I feel like the build up to the kind of like the twist or whatever, as far as who the daughter is, who you think it's the main character the whole time, Kay or Joe.
Yeah.
You think it's him the whole time, and then it's not. And like I appreciated that twist.
Was amazing twist.
That was the end to me.
I was like, holy shit! But then you think about it, and you're like, oh man, I should have thought about this already. I was like, how did I not see this? And so I love that twist. Like when a film succeeds in like fooling me, and I'm like, that is the best feeling when you're experiencing.
It plays on your expectation. Like, of course, our main character is going to be the chosen one.
Dennis always does this in every film that I've watched of his. He always does this. I'm like, I should already be expecting it, but I still fall for it every time.
He takes advantage of expectation.
Yeah.
And he builds expectation perfectly to where, even though I might be expecting it or it might be quote-unquote predictable, it would still be satisfying if Kay were the... I would still be like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And then he goes, whoop, and he flips that
I'm like,
on its head, which is really hard to do and really, still tell a good story. And I feel like that twist was not ruined, but that twist was a little less emotionally satisfying because then they try to explain all this shit on top of it. Like when he meets that one-eyed woman in the sewer, I was confused, frankly. I was like,
what?
And I'm still a little hazy on how that's the daughter and how, like, was he the boy that they made to like fool people, or is he I just got really confused with how all that came together.
I think in his mind, you know how like the chick,
and how did he get the memory and
so the one-eyed chick is not the daughter. It's
it's the daughter that
memory.
Makes the memory. I know that.
So she says at the beginning when they have that interaction, they're like, hey, you have a little piece of every piece. There's a little bit of an artist in it.
Sure.
So I think she maybe inadvertently put that memory in his brain or something, and that he found it out. You know,
he's inadvertent.
Maybe inadvertent. Because
that's the thing is I don't understand that. That's the one connection of the plot line that I don't get.
She sees into his mind and she sees the memory. She's like, oh, that memory is 100% real.
Yeah, because it's her.
She maybe exactly. So maybe inadvertently she put that memory in there. You know, so like I feel like it was just he maybe thought I don't know.
I feel like they could have done a little bit better. I don't need it explained like here's how it is, but it the way that ending worked, I was a little taken aback by what was actually going on.
I know. At
the end, I need to watch it again.
Yeah,
because Blade Runner's confusing as fuck.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Definitely. Both these movies are very confusing.
Yeah. Jumping around. Now that we're talking about that whole twist, there's one scene that came up to my mind. What did you guys think about that whole Vegas scene?
I loved it.
You liked it? The fighting, the one between.
Well, that was fine. I just loved the look.
Yeah, the look. I mean,
like, annihilated Vegas.
The scene where I guess where they are like fighting each other, Deckard and Kay.
I liked it at first. I loved the fact it was very true to the character of Deckard that he just shoots and asks questions later.
Yeah.
Boom! He just starts shooting at him, and it's like, oh shit!
I know they were like mid conversation, and he shoots him. In the chest.
I love that, and I kind of thought the Elvis thing was cool. Like they're always playing on like the.
Not to interrupt you, I'm sorry, but that part in particular, I wanted to touch on. If you remember when we watched the first Blade Runner, that scene at the end where the antagonist is kind of like running around naked, chasing him and scaring the shit out of him. I was like, it made me really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That Elvis scene made me feel that exact same way.
Yeah.
Because they're fighting and they're
looking
and
for
then there's
each
like,
other.
noise, Elvis, noise. And then there's like, they're talking and then they're fighting and I was like, I feel weird right now, but not in a bad way. Just in like that same similar kind of uncomfortable.
But the resolution of that scene felt really awkward to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm just like, we're talking about cutting the movie down. I think that scene could have been either altered or cut short a little bit. I felt like that scene went on a little too long. That was a legit like 10-15 minutes.
It really was a long.
Yeah, and I was
You're
like,
right.
that's a long scene. I was like, and it was so awkward at the end. You know,
yeah,
like,
it was weird. He kept punching him, and then they were like talking.
You
want to drink?
Yeah,
which was funny. Everyone laughed at that
yeah.
part. The writing is always good, but I agree. I think what would have been better use of that would have been they meet, Deckard opens fire on him. That was great. I loved that. I mean, if, watching the first movie, like that's just so him. He opens fire. They figured out much quicker.
Yeah.
Like maybe he has something. I think he if he had the horse maybe.
Oh yeah, like drop the horse when he's falling down the balcony or something.
and because the horse was who made it again? Deckard made it. Yeah. So like that would have been like a better version of the Batman versus Superman Martha shit or whatever.
Martha.
You know what I mean? Like he's about to shoot him, and then he has like the horse in his hand. He sees the date, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tie that together.
Immediately, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And then had the scary lady chase them through the Elvis.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like that whole
scary
entire like casino club scene could have been. Maybe
they
cut
needed that dialogue.
Maybe cut to
down.
put into the Blu-ray version. You know, like cut down, like you said. I like your resolution to that. The horse dropping when he's like falling off the balcony. Yeah. And then he picks up. And he's like, "Oh shit!" He's like, then,
"Where'd you get this?"
Yeah, where'd you get this? Something like that. But then, it was just so. It was like 10-15 minutes. I'm like, God damn.
Like, why are we still fighting? I agree. That's a good observation. I didn't think about before that.
Yeah, so I feel like there was a...
And you could have used that cool, loud, quiet, scary Elvis thing, exactly. I think, with her looking for them.
Yeah.
Because she scared the shit out of me that whole movie. And one of my favorite scenes in this movie, too, and you guys can just kind of think of some scenes, too, before we wrap it up. One of my favorite moments... I love things... It's hard to explain. I love it when movies give you some kind of, like, story revelation that for some reason makes you feel afraid.
Okay.
And like a scary movie would make you feel afraid.
Right.
Because it's so huge and impacting and to the character, and you're feeling what they're feeling, and you're afraid. It's a fear feeling, not a wonder, not shock, not surprise, nothing like that. And when he goes into the furnace and he grabs the horse and he's unveiling it, and the music is like it's not like it's not like it's like it was ghastly music and then like, he was so shaken at him, like I was like, oh, I feel like I'm watching Alien or something more like this.
That's a great example of a scene that shouldn't be cut down, because that was like at least a minute, 2 minutes, like spanned on his face, like his slow reaction to realizing this.
And the music was like, oh god, it was like it was weird. I wouldn't expect it to have felt so afraid in that moment. Like it was so tense.
It's him.
Oh god, yeah, exactly. Just like the revelation of everything, and like and the build up to that point is one of my favorite things. It's a mystery movie. Yeah. He's interviewing. Yeah. It's like it feels like a really good BBC like masterpiece theater crime, old school, like going after a serial killer kind of a movie. Like he's meeting all these new people, and he picks up this piece.
It's like a noir.
And we're putting it together.
Yeah, like a noir film kind of thing.
I love the structure of the first like 75% of the movie.
Well, what scenes stood out to you, Mason?
Yeah,
particularly.
One I wanted to touch on in particular, as far as like we talked about it staying true to the source material, was the scene where him and his kind of AI significant other.
Oh yeah,
so I really loved.
Yeah, she was amazing.
Where she brings in that prostitute, so he can feel
that was
like,
the visuals were
so crazy, dude. Right? And so he can feel what it's like to be with like a real woman.
Yeah.
And to me, that whole time I was like, I've never seen anything like that in a movie ever. Yeah. Like that is so unique, and to do anything unique in 2017 is nuts.
It's probable.
And to do it well is like crazy. Yeah. But that scene, what stood out to me in particular is that they didn't show them have sex. Which I loved that they didn't do that, because in the first one they also didn't show it. Yeah. They showed awkward build up. Yeah. And then that was it. And they let you go, and I appreciated that a lot. Because I didn't want to sit in the theater and be like, oh, here's a Ryan Gosling with his abs and his leg, fucking just.
I was like,
on the curve of her stomach,
side boob, and everything, and sweat. They don't even show like her breasts or anything like that, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, but it was at the same time. It was. I love it when a director finds a way to use sex that isn't. Let's fuck. You know what I mean? Like a lot of movies, that's what it's about. It's just, it's
that's
like
what I mean. Is
sex
time wasn't there.
No, but it meant so much too. It wasn't. There are movies that show people making out. Even it's like, okay, man, that's fine. They're making out, but like it had so much like dual meaning
Yeah.
and symbolism and shit. It just meant so much to the film.
Just the way that was shot.
Oh,
That, it
so
totally
good.
helped
The whole
that
time.
we love the AI.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Joy,
Jesus
she was so good.
She was wonderful.
And but the thing was like you get that whole scene right, and like maybe 30-40 minutes later, you find out that maybe near the end of the film, spoiler, but like you find out that the whole thing now this is another mind bending thing. Like,
that
you find out
is-
she's just recorded. It's just this is all that she was programmed for. Everything that she told him, like even the name Joe was already preconceived in her mind, programmed into her mind.
Yep.
To fall in love with him, to make him love her in every possible way.
Yep.
It's crazy.
I do have a question
like,
for you though, and it's the kind of question
Yeah.
that Blade Runner makes you ask.
Yeah.
Which all these like my favorite stuff right now is all about like identity and like humanity and what humanity is, because I do believe that while she was programmed and preconceived and all that to love whoever she's with, I do believe that AI program loved him. Because right before she dies, like she's literally about to be dead, and she screams "I love you" like right before she dies. Like I don't feel that was false or pre-programmed. Because that kind of AI it's an adaptive thing.
Yeah, right.
It's reactive. I highly doubt someone's like, well, just in case someone is about to destroy this and permanently kill our AI here.
Right. She makes some cognitive choices to be downloaded into that thing anyways, right?
Yeah, if
like
she
what
takes
AI would
risk.
Yeah, what AI would willingly sacrifice themselves.
If she was just a hollow, empty program, he would be like, I need to go. She'd be like, I'll see you when you get home.
Yeah.
Instead she has like these actual meaningful choices.
But I mean...
I liked the conflict of us not sure if she's real or not.
I like the conflict too, but like you also have to say replicants are kind of programmed the same way, Like,
but that's the whole point of Blade Runner is, are they human?
Exactly. The thing is, like, when he sees that big sign for her, like her program,
it's so sad.
I don't know if he realizes that. I think he realizes that maybe all of that predestined bullcrap was all
in his mind.
Yeah, because like. After he meets that one-eyed lady, she tells him that you're not the kid,
right.
And then and he's all like, he has this like
she
crisis.
Says we all wish we were.
Yeah, he has this crisis, like this identity crisis, and he's like, well, I thought I was special.
Yeah, I thought I was born.
Yeah, I thought I was born, and then like he sees that AI, he's just like the topping on the freaking cake, and it's just like, he's like, oh my god, this is all preconceived. Yeah, I was like, this is all preconceived, and it's just like, what? This is all. But
at
the
same time, she was still. And like this could just be my bias for this.
You wanted to say
she was alien to him.
Yeah,
it's the same woman.
Yeah,
with the same voice.
Yeah,
calling him Joe.
Yeah,
but it wasn't her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he could tell the difference.
Yeah.
Between her and another one standing right next to each other talking to him.
Yeah. And
to me, if it's real to him, it's real.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
I think they could have made a statement, more of a statement, to say that she was never real and she was completely a hollow program.
Dennis did that on purpose. It's like to have this debate.
That's what the Blade Runner, both movies are all about.
I feel like
identity crisis. That is the theme behind the whole.
And that's what I'm saying. I was gonna say this
for the humans and for the humans create replicants and they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah,
either,
exactly.
Yeah,
and they're like, I know the humans create the replicants, but then they also hate the replicants.
Hate them.
Yeah,
they
doesn't make any sense.
They're too much like you now.
Yeah, exactly.
And now they're doing your job.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like there's so many
noise to this
there's
movie.
just so many like biblical scenes, with it as well. Because like if you can say believing something is like your religion, and you realize that your religion is not, it's false, and you have this identity crisis, and you're like, but I believe in this and this and this, and you're just like, well, fuck, it's not. It's all, and then what's the point of living?
That's why so many people have a hard time not believing.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's why this film plays on those feelings, because like even especially in modern day now, people are having identity crisis every single day.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like it's hard to like face facts and then face what you believe in. It's crazy, and
and sort of the resolution to that thought is when he meets all of those replicants who are about to start a revolution, saying we have at one point been at the bottom where you are right now, and then we understood that we do have something, an identity to live for, which is the fact that we are humans, and we deserve freedom, and that's our cause now. That's what they're living for now, is the fact that they know that they aren't just machines.
Yeah. In fact, I think that him having they say that being this and this is so human. In fact, I think having an identity crisis is more human than most of the humans in there. So I'm like to
searching for meaning.
Yeah, searching for meaning exactly, and like they're looking for meaning. Like it's just.
And that goes all the way back to the book that all this is based on, which is the Do robots dream of electric sheep?
Electric sheep, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The title is like that's the whole underpinning of the entire thing. And, I'm liking this movie even more just talking about.
I know, right?
Talking about how it made us think like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is that, and honestly, I really think that's why this is not doing well. It's just like
exactly. It really challenges you.
It challenges people, and like honestly, the average Joe that walks into the theater is gonna, if they have the choice between some sort of action film versus this, they're like, I heard that it's a really long film and there's a lot of stuff you don't really understand, so let's just go to the other one. It has guns and shit. I'm like, let's watch the action stuff. I'm like. One
thing I do understand, though, and I think was I don't want to call it a mistake because I really appreciated it.
A misstep.
But something that I think is going to cause the movie problems, and I was really surprised they did, was that this is a sequel to Blade Runner that came out in 1982.
Yeah.
And if you've never seen that movie, you don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, that's what I've been telling people. People have been asking me. I'm like, hey, you need to watch the first one.
Well, and what's different for me is like people keep at work. I went in first thing and I started talking to people about it, and people keep going, "This is a sequel."
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Like everyone thinks it's a remake.
Yeah.
It's 30 years later.
Yeah, everyone thought it. Yeah, at work too. I was talking about like, so it's like a reboot. I'm like, I think it's a sequel.
Yeah.
And it's more, and I thought it was going to be sort of something in between where they would reference like, oh yeah, Deckard, maybe, and I knew Han Solo would be in it. I knew that Harrison Ford would be in the movie, so they're going to kind of do like a playback. But I didn't know the entire structure of the film was going to be based on everything we know about the first movie.
Yeah,
they go and visit Gaff in the retirement home. Like that scene would make no sense.
So maybe four people in the theater were like, "What?" And they were all
lost my shit. I was like, "Oh, Gaff is in this."
Everyone else is like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Yeah, no one remembers.
No
one went back.
No one remembers, and he wasn't like.
And that film is not readily available to people, unless you purposely
they don't
go
play
out.
They don't play it on Spike.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Unless you purposely go out and buy the film, it's not going to be on Netflix. It's not going to be on Amazon.
The only place I've seen it was on my DirecTV channels.
Yeah.
There's a line for Blade Runner. It says catch up before Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, it was like a 10-minute summary of the thing, or
no,
what?
No,
like
the actual film to order the movie.
Oh, I see.
On demand.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying.
It said catch up.
That's what I'm saying.
That was another thing. I was talking to my team leader at work about it, and he's like, I told him to go back and watch the original, and he's like, okay, I can do that. And then I was going to be like, well, you could watch a YouTube recap. And then I was like, no, you can't. You can't do that. No, you can't do that. Not with that movie.
There's a lot of
there's just too much.
I could sum that movie up in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So people make robots. Robots get mad.
Yeah, the robots for their freedom, and Blade Runner is the kind of cop that hunts them down. But then if you explain
it like that, then they'll be, oh, this is an action film like Terminator.
Exactly.
Like Terminator, right?
Yes,
and I'm like, no, not like Terminator.
It's not. And I think, I don't know, honestly, I don't know that many people, apart from you guys, so I'm so thankful for you guys for that would watch that and enjoy it.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. And that's why this is not succeeding.
And that's why the original Blade Runner is like on all those top 100 movies of all time list, but
it's critically acclaimed, but not.
But but it's not that accessible. It's kind of boring.
Yeah, it is.
Because
like,
you're
especially
not a
with
nerd.
a name like Blade Runner, and you're like, oh, dude, it's gonna be an action film. They're gonna hunt robots.
So does he have a knife? Or
I was like, I know.
What you can tell is by watching shit like Fifth Element, and all of these, a lot of movies. Yeah. It's one of those things like Blade Runner was disintegrated by the public, and the DNA of that movie went into like. Every fucking director, every director that's made a movie
that's what I'm saying,
since 1990 has been like, Blade Runner's like, talk to any director, I guarantee Blade Runner's
inspired so many. Like, it inspired the anime Ghost in the Shell. Yep. It inspired even the modern sci-fi stuff now. It's been inspired, by
anytime you see cyberpunk,
cyberpunk,
the entire that whole genre, was visualized by the first movie. Yeah. So even though it was sort of the sacrificial lamb to create an entire genre that people do enjoy, that they don't even know that they're watching it. Sometimes. They don't even know that they're watching Blade Runner, even though they're not.
Yeah.
And the movie itself just doesn't resonate with a lot of people. For whatever reason.
I'm sure, but the thing is, a couple generations from now, people that watch this film will be creating content too. For the next generation.
I just don't. I don't think we'll ever get another one.
I don't think so either. Not another Blade Runner for another maybe
I feel like you could make a sequel to this movie.
Huh?
I feel like you could continue this story.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously, a huge spoiler, Kay dies at the end. That totally reminds me, and I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this. I don't like calling it a complaint. Yeah. Something I would have changed.
Yeah.
The first movie has that electric stuff, the music, the beautiful, haunting, weird, echoey
synth music. Yeah.
Synth music.
Yeah.
But it's still musical.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like,
there's
like ding, there's like piano, and there's notes. Yeah. There's like there's actual. I feel like at the end when he's dying on those stairs, they play the same song. Yeah. And it's really pretty, and it got me really emotional because it's the same song from the original movie. I loved the sound, the electric, industrial sounds that they kept honking in this movie were great. But I would have also liked a little bit more musicality at times. I don't know about you guys, and I didn't realize I wanted that until the end when they played that, and I was like, "Oh, that works so well." I really wish they would have done a little bit more of this throughout the movie.
I think so too. I agree with that.
Not a huge thing.
It was they could have done more, but I think the music that they had in there it was decent.
It was good, fine. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't even feel that way until I heard it. Yeah. I heard the initial original Blade Runner song at the very end, and I was like, "Oh." Yeah, that really worked. I'm sure there could have been more points where they could have played a little bit more musicality. It was just a small thing.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that. I just feel like the timing of the music was fucking on point every time. I was like,
there's so few movies that sound the way they look.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, right.
Like you're looking at it like that's what this sounds like.
Yeah.
Like, if I just hear this in my brain, I'm going to picture this nasty world. Yeah. Which it is, That's Los Angeles.
I know. Yeah. I know, dude.
There's no beach anymore.
Oh, God. It's San Diego, when they went to San Diego, I know, it's just dump site of San Diego. I'm like, what? I'm like, this is just like fucking like, and there's like scavengers that live out there and shit like that.
I love that whole, there's like guys that start shooting them down as soon as you fly over the junkyard and like the automated ships that are dropping all the garbage off. And really cool look.
The way that the synths are, they don't, like, overreact to things. And, like, in that scene in particular, like, Kay is not overreacting to the situation at all. He's just, like, he gets shot down, he's just, like, trying to, steer the thing. He's, like, not freaking. He's like, oh, my God, fuck! Yeah. He's like, he's just trying to, I'm like, I was like, I love that. I'm like, I hate when people overact, and him, and I was like, that scene worked perfect. And I'm like, absolutely. That was such a great, but then as soon as he gets out of the car, he did get a little nervous, but then he fucking broke that guy's back. Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
It gets like, that movie's not a lot of action, and it gets brutal.
Yeah. That scene was sick. I love that scene.
Right at the beginning, I mean, the first part for me that really gave away that Cade was a replicant.
Yeah. Was fighting.
When he's fighting, I don't remember his name, but I just know him as Drax from Guardians
of the Galaxy. Drax.
Joe Batista.
Yeah, Batista, but when he's just slamming his head in the wall.
Yeah, I was like, that would
kill. He's dead. He's dead. What are you doing? And then I'm like, oh, okay, you must be replicant. Okay, that makes sense.
They kind of like really tell you when he gets stabbed and doesn't care.
Yeah.
I figured maybe he's a badass. But like then again.
Yeah, no, but that wall scene, I'm like, okay, that guy's dead. What the fuck? He just destroyed his head. I was like, I thought Ryan Gosling was in most of this movie. Because in my mind, throughout that scene, I was like, oh, he must be a replicant, but then I thought, I'm like, oh, there must be another copy of him, like, later on. Yeah. This guy is going to kill him.
You didn't give any thought to it because you didn't know that Deckard was a replicant.
I didn't think, so Blade Runners are all replicants. Is that what?
I don't know. It may have started as humans, and then it got harder and harder because... If you think about the first movie, when the big Leon, the big one, in the movie, he was the one who's getting the test in the first scene. Yeah. When he punches the truck and the truck dents, and he turns around and he punches Deckard in the face.
Yeah, I was like, what the?
How would he survive?
Yeah, no, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, yes, now that I remember the whole thing, I'm like,
it's just that Deckard wasn't given that kind of strength because he was being fooled into believing he was human.
Yeah. Oh,
so if Deckard could just pick a dude and throw him 2 blocks, he would know, okay, I'm not like everybody else. He was designed to believe he was human. He was that.
And then also in that scene, later on, they harp back to that scene, right? And the one-eyed lady says, Zapper, I think this was his name, Zapper let you kill him. I was like, what? I was like, what the fuck? And then I instantly told me that Kay was not the kid. Was not because the Zapper helped deliver the kid, right? Mm-hmm. So he would have known if this was the kid or not. Yeah. And I'm like, so that definitely immediately said, oh, he's definitely not the kid.
That's a good point. And that was one of the best lines of the movie, that intro line when he said, he's like, you've never seen a miracle before.
Yeah, you've never seen.
And that basically tells you the setup of the movie is we're going to show Kay a miracle.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're going to turn him from. I didn't like him at first. I thought he was too emotionless.
Yeah.
And I was like, because the cool thing about Deckard is that like he has scenes, when he goes and talks to Zora and he pretends to be that nerdy little reporter, or not reporter, but the HR guy. Like, well, I just heard about there's some abuse of women here. Like, there was Deckard. I feel like I was more into Deckard because he was more human. And that was an issue for me at first, but then I realized that they make him like that because then they start to give him emotion as he starts to react to things, and he builds up as the movie goes and becomes more human.
Do you think that might be the trigger for replicants' emotions? Like, why do humans give replicants emotions? Because in that scene where the assistant, Wallace's assistants, talk to this, I guess some sort of company ordering replicants, she's like, we can add emotions, but I wouldn't recommend it because you're just using him as labor, and we can give him clothes and stuff like that, but again, it would be a waste of blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, why do humans give replicants emotion? I feel like giving some inanimate object emotions to make it alive, to give it a soul. They harp on the soul thing a lot.
I love that line.
The whole
thing between her
and the captain.
Madam.
And Madam. So I'm like, to give a replicant emotion is to give him a soul. And I'm like, so why do it? Why do it at all? So that's why I feel like this whole thing happens, all these replicant rebellions and all that stuff is because humans won't stop giving replicants emotions.
And that starts with Tyrell, because if you watch the original Blade Runner, Tyrell is not a corporate dude.
No,
he is someone who wants to make life.
He's an artist.
He's obviously incredibly self-centered. Higher than thou. Brilliant.
He sees
genius
himself as a god
who wants to create life.
He thinks himself a god.
And once you introduce something like that, obviously there are benefits for these replicants to have these types of emotions, and then now you're stuck. Now you can't go back to the emotionless ones because they're more effective at their job. They can do more because they can reason. And they can make decisions, and it helps them. And now you have to. It's like it's one of those things where it's like you turn that corner, and there isn't really any turning back. From that point, so
any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Well, I mean, or did you want to look at Dunkirk, anything? We did ratings.
Oh, rating! Ooh, I forgot about this.
We did ratings.
Every fifth, right? Every point.
Yeah, 20-point scale. So 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5.
It's a 20-point scale.
Yeah, right. Because it's 10. 1 through 10 is 10, and then you add the extra one for each number, so it's 20. I think it is.
Come back around to me.
Come back around.
Yeah. I want to hear you guys' rating on it.
So what I saw a quote that they keep using.
Yeah.
Someone says it's like a masterpiece of the ages, and I don't think it's a masterpiece of the ages.
It's a great film.
That's not disparaging.
Top films of all time, but not.
I don't think it's one of the great films of all time. I don't think if it's one of the great films of all time, I don't have issues about length. I don't have issues with one of the main characters.
So it's not in your top 100 of all time list. Okay.
I would say no, and
maybe top 200.
Oh, easily.
Okay, top
200. Probably top 150. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to put all those movies. I don't know. I need to visualize that.
We need to do that.
It might be in my top 100.
Let's do a top 100 film all time.
I'd do it. I would come up with some stuff. It'd be fun. I did a top 10
in an hour.
I know. Let me type it up real quick here.
I would forget stuff. It might even be in my top 50. I don't know. But I just don't. It makes me sound like I didn't like it. I loved it. I loved it.
No. I think if you think on the grand scale of how many films are out there in the world, being in top 150 is fucking great. It's really good.
Yeah.
So.
And I just think that if I come out of a movie instantly with a movie with loved it, but I can't put it in there. As much as I loved it, I think the original Blade Runner is a little bit more of a tightened up movie.
Here's my question then to you.
Okay.
If it wasn't a sequel, would it have stood up to different standards?
I don't know if I can answer that. Because it is so genetically Blade Runner that I don't know how to separate it.
You think you went into Dunkirk without any expectation of a prequel, right?
Yeah.
So then you came out and you're like, wow, I didn't expect much, and that was a great
But I did
film.
expect a lot.
Yeah, you did. Okay.
Oh,
so
for me, between Nolan
maybe,
and everything I'd seen and read, I actually expected a ton of that.
So then maybe for me, then I went into Dunkirk. I'm not expecting a whole lot.
Okay.
But other than knowing Nolan, I'm like, this is gonna be a good film. Mm-hmm. Came out of it, I'm like, this is a fucking great film. Yeah. So I went into this. Dennis,
but is it one of the greatest films of all time? I don't think Dunkirk or Blade Runner.
I think Dunkirk was one of the maybe not greatest film of all time, but definitely one of the top 50 of war films.
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is like it belongs in a conversation here.
Yeah.
It is that good. It is that great. But I think Arrival is a better overall movie.
Yeah, I think so.
And if I can grab a movie, and so it's Sicario too.
Yeah, I think so too.
Not that like Blade Runner is on the same level as those, but they don't have the little bits that I can pick on as easily.
That
and
wow factor.
they're just 360 degrees. You start and you end, and it's just like I can't. I wouldn't change anything about Arrival or Sicario.
Yeah. Okay.
Whereas there are a few things I would change about Blade Runner.
Yeah. Okay. I see your point.
So I'm going to give it the same score I gave Dunkirk, which is an 8.5.
Okay. All right. What about you, Mason?
I was going to go 8.5 as well.
Yeah.
You had asked a question about how we'd feel if it wasn't a sequel, and I think Ian, you made a good point about like, well, if it wasn't a sequel, I don't think it'd be a movie. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't make any sense.
It can't exist without Blade Runner.
But to answer your question, knowing it's a sequel, but if I had never seen the first one, it'd be a much lower score because I would have no idea about anything that's happening.
It would not be good.
And I think my score is also based a lot on the fact that I watched the first one
recently,
2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and I'm still thinking about it all the time, like Ian had mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed this movie more, I think, just because of how recently I watched that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I give it.
The first one or this one?
I enjoyed the newer one a little bit more, just. But and then again, I go back and forth though, because you said the first one is tighter. You're right; it's a tighter experience. But...
I like Kay. Honestly, I like Deckard too.
I like Deckard better.
That's what I'm saying. I like Deckard, but he had too much emotion for me, and I'm like I like Kay because he's just like so. The way he was made, they didn't have any emotions. He wasn't overreacting to things. He wasn't like until that.
He's an evolution,
right? Until he snapped though. That one scene
with
when
the
he I'm like, holy shit! I was not expecting that. It like literally gave me goosebumps.
He doesn't even raise his voice in the movie.
That weird test. I love the evolution of the test too.
Oh yeah,
because in the first test they ask you questions about like when they're asking Leon in the first movie about turtles and you're not. The turtle is baking in the sun. You're not helping up. Oh, how come I'm not helping it up? And then this one, they create sentences with a keyword, and they have to repeat the keyword and not think about the sentence.
Integration. What's it like to hold your child's hand? Integration.
And if they think about the sentence, then there's something wrong. I love that.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I honestly preferred Kay over Deckard.
Okay.
But they're still really fantastic characters. But Kay was just so sure of everything that he was doing, whereas Deckard, like
Deckard was a crisis.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He was just so up and down for me. And I was just
I
was like, I couldn't.
But does that change now that you know he's a replicant?
Yeah, it does. It totally does because I thought he was a human and he totally fooled me. So they fooled me, and so they succeeded in that. But then it does change a little bit. But I still preferred Kay because I knew he was a synth or
go watch
replicant.
Blade Runner again now that you know.
I know, right? I know. So I knew he was a replicant, and as soon as I knew that, and he acted the way he did, but he did have soft scenes, like with especially with his AI companion, right? Mm-hmm. He had soft scenes where I'm like, but he never strayed too far from like an emotional like barrier, where Deckard was like,
he was all over the place, yeah.
But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's fine.
No, you didn't. No,
so did you prefer Deckard over Kane, or I'm sorry, Deckard over Kay, or?
It's hard for me to say because
it's tough.
And you touched on a lot of it, but what stands out to me about Deckard is that like 30 years went by and a lot of people didn't know he was a replicant.
Yeah, I know.
And, no one really tells you that.
Exactly.
And then at the beginning of this movie, they introduced that his model was one to have like an open-ended aging kind of sequence, and like people go, "Oh, okay, now it's like wrapped up." But it's hard for me to say. I think Ryan Gosling played the part perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think there was
his
portrayal
was amazing.
I had no problems with it.
Yeah.
I mentioned before he doesn't even raise his voice in the movie.
Yeah.
And he gets shot at and he gets his head bashed through a wall, and like there's that one scene where his emotions start clicking on and he just freaks out, and but then he goes back to cool and he just walks out.
That scene where they're fighting in that sinking shuttle, and then she comes back to like free Deckard, the assistant lady, and then like Ryan Gosling came out of nowhere like a fucking shark. Yeah, he's like, dude, I was like, oh fuck! I was like, what the fuck was that? I was like, god damn.
They remind you he's not human every now and then.
That scene, exactly. And so in that scene, he finally shows off his like, his strength and his powers, and like it didn't click for me right after the first scene that he was a synth, and I just didn't. He didn't show it, I guess. He didn't show his like strength because they always have like super strength or whatever. And then that
like
scene,
his durability.
Yeah, his durability. And I was like, and then that scene was so fucking intense where she's like drowning and he's choking her out and she starts crying and stuff like that.
That's where I thought the movie was going to end the first time.
Yes,
I thought as Deckard was walking back to the car, I guess you could call it, he turns around and Kay's not there, and I thought, okay, that's it. Yeah. He's just gone. He went off into the water, and then he's going to fly away, and that's going to be the end of the movie, but that wasn't. It was one of the 5 endings of the movie.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. But, so 8.5 for you as well?
Yeah.
I don't want to conform with you guys, so I'm gonna give it.
Don't conform, bro.
Well, no, before you say you weren't, was that what you were thinking?
I was thinking 8.5 for sure.
I mean, you don't have to confirm. You
no.
Just give it what
now
you
what's
want
your
to give it.
non-conformative score?
Okay, yeah, 8.5.
Now you just gave away that you're changing
Way
it
to go.
for no basis. Other
Okay,
than we
so
did.
8.5 for me as well, and it's for the fact that I did have a lot of things that, like you said, I could have changed or could have cut out, but for the scenes that were in there, they just meant so much. They had so much subtle details. They had so much meaning to all of them. So, for whatever was in there for a 3-hour film, it was a great film.
Yeah.
But if you compare it to other 3-hour films, like that films
compared to his other movies.
Yeah, his other movies. But like, if you compare it to other 3-hour films, Lord of the Rings, like that first thing that comes to mind, that was a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah.
You know, like so there could have been some stuff that could have been improved. Mm-hmm. So definitely a solid 8.5. Though.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I saw between 9 and 8.5 for me. So,
yep, I would agree. Cool.
So, yeah, man, that was great.
Awesome.
And of course, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you thought.
Did you go see it?
Yeah.
I'm assuming you didn't, since the movie only made $12 million.
Go fucking see it!
Please go support the movie.
I'll clarify. Go see it if you've seen the first one.
And if it's been 5 years, go watch the first one again.
Yeah, watch the first one first and then go, yeah.
And then when you've seen this one, and you didn't know Deckard was a replicant,
go
watch Blade Runner again.
God damn, dude. That means that they succeeded in fooling me, so there you go.
Yep. Well, it was hoping you'd wonder. Yeah,
exactly.
So. I'm not really sure. So, all right, guys. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this review discussion. We check out Mason Missed It. We talk about the fact that he hadn't seen the first one and our impressions of that and how that went over. So if you didn't catch that, definitely go check it out. We posted that yesterday. And I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend.
Peace.
Later.